I wasn't planning on starting at any special time, but it just happened to be 9 minutes after 1 when I looked at the clock, and I quickly lit the candles, and uh, one of them was, one in the back was having trouble lighting. Anyway, it's 1:11. Uh, so another triple number, new beginnings. The title that I've selected within the past hour, less than an hour actually, we're in transition, and it will seem like soap operas to many. I wasn't planning on getting up before midnight, but it is the full moon. Lots of things are erupting, including at my daughter's home. I also wasn't thinking of this as a topic until I got that rude awakening call. Some people have expressed disappointment regarding my personal soap opera with my friend from Canada. It may not be as it appears. Few things are. The undercurrents are running deep for many of us right now, churning up unconscious content, bringing it to the surface to be healed. This is especially true for those of us who have chosen to be awakened and to move into a new reality. Many of us respond by seeing things through past conditioning. This too is normal because it is familiar. However, we are moving beyond normal. I'll bet we ain't seen nothing yet. Oh, it's amazing that I'm smiling with listening to my daughter and my son-in-law each tell their side of the story. And all the other things that have been going on for me in the past few days, especially. In any case, without even meditating on anything, I realized normally I meditate before I do a video, but today I didn't. I responded to an email, a wonderful email from my friend in Canada, and then I wrote the blurb, and I didn't really give it a whole lot of thought. That's an amazing thing. So it's even maybe more off the cuff and less planned than usual, although I don't really plan them in detail most of the time. But the topic that I had chosen for yesterday's video, and I thought I was going to be doing it today, only a balanced and inclusive spirituality will help us. That's the title. That's going to have to wait at least another day. Who knows? And it might get put off even further. I might not even know what a balanced spirituality is. Many of us, as I said, have a tendency to look at things through past conditioning. Triggers. There were things that my friend from Canada said in some of her emails, which I've not shared her emails with people. She was thinking that I was sharing her emails with people. That's simply not the reality. But in any case, there were trigger things in her things. And I have a tendency, like we all do, to see those things that trigger us, the things that hurt, the things that bring up past memories. And we often tend, and I know that this has happened in the email communications that I've received from my friend, that she has said things that were nice things and good things and wonderful things. But all that I caught were the things that I didn't like, the things that pushed my buttons. And that's true, I think, with, if not all of us, most of us. We tend to have trigger points, emotional trigger points, where we've been hurt, wounded, disappointed in the past. And we have trouble getting beyond it. Many of you that have judged my friend from Canada or judged me are speaking from your own conditioning. You're seeing things the way things have happened for you. And this is a new reality that we're moving into. This is not going to be the norm, although it's going to seem like recycled soap operas. The Days of Our Lives, As the World Turns. What are some of the other ones? I don't even remember. Dallas, I never watched any of them. But in any case, some of them were ancient. I mean, they were on when I was a kid, for God's sake. As the World Turns and Days of Our Lives, I think, are really old ones. Anyway, it does seem like soap operas because we're having all of this drama that's being played out. And we do get a chance to frame it differently. As my friend said in her message yesterday, we can rewrite our story. And we can choose how we're going to see things. And it's the first way we're going to see things is how we've always seen them. But relationships are changing. Our relationship with ourselves is changing. And our understanding of things is changing. We're going through a dramatic shift. And yes, things are being triggered probably from the soul's perspective very much on purpose. Very much on purpose. We're being brought back to some of our old patterns, some of our old wounds, to re-examine them. It's happening with me, and I'll bet you I'm not alone. It's happening with my friend from Canada. It's happening with my daughter. It's happening with my son-in-law. It's happening all over the place. We don't know all the stories, and we don't need to know every story. It's not important. I share my stories because I promise to tell the truth. I made a vow to myself to tell it like it is. And if I'm going through an issue, you're going to hear about that issue. Now, I did reflect back earlier today, or actually yesterday, Sunday. I did reflect back on when I had my magazine for 5 years, 60 issues. Toward the end of publishing that magazine, I was getting caught up in soap operas. In fact, I had a couple of editions that talked about soap operas. But again, even in that, I swore to tell the truth. What I'm going through, the issues that I'm going through, some people don't like that. They like to just the philosophical end of it, or the theological end of it, or the whatever, the thinking part of it. They don't want to hear the story. They don't want to hear the drama. And I get that in workshops. Get out of the story. Get out of the story. Well, our stories have elements within them to learn from. And to me, the story is always important. I still have the vision of us getting to the new world that we're co-creating together. And one of the things we're going to do is sit around in circles and tell our stories. And we're going to laugh together, and we're going to be amazed at how we came through what we came through, and how we learned the things that we learned, and how hard it was for us to get the picture and to see the whole thing and to gain a better perspective. But this is what's happening in 2013, and it is accelerating, and this is a full moon period. And we've had all these eclipses recently in the past couple of months. Lots of things are transitioning us into new experience. But it looks like recycled old experience. Except it's not. We're making something new. Now, I do not know how the situation with my friend from Canada is going to go. I will say this. I made an honest and humble request that she help me work through it, and she agreed. We will be communicating with words to each other, with each other, and that feels really, really good on this end. I don't know how things are going to turn out. There's been a lot of questions raised in her and a lot of questions raised in me. And I don't think she's a bad person. I don't think she had any bad intentions of taking me to the cleaners or taking advantage of me. I don't believe. I had an interview with Katie West that she requested today, and that probably will not be shared publicly, although she did say that if I choose to do it, it's okay with her, but it's an hour long, and I don't usually do hour long things. But as I said to her, I don't, with all the negative comments that people, including some very close friends, have made to me about her, that they didn't feel right about it from the beginning, and they felt that, I was in for another disappointment, et cetera, and all the people that said she was a bad person, or that I'm a bad person, and one person that I actually deleted the comment said that I looked like an abuser. Yeah, well, there's been times I've been abusive, but I'm not an abuser. I get hurt, and sometimes I overreact, and that's happened in my life with my kids, with people in my life from time to time. Not a lot, but it has happened. And anyway, excuse me, we're looking at all of these things. We're looking at them. We're looking at the mistakes, or the things that we thought were mistakes from the past. We're looking at how we misapplied our opportunities sometimes, and maybe did not get the most out of the relationships that seemed so horrible. But there's gifts in all of it, and as we get an opportunity in the future, and some of us can choose it now, to reflect on some of these stories, these experiences that we've had in our lives, we're going to be amazed at how patient Spirit was with us, the universe was with us, life was with us, in presenting us with opportunities to look at things from a bigger perspective. But we've mostly missed it. Me too. I'm not throwing rocks, folks. I'm not. We've gotten it wrong, apparently, but we're going to see that maybe it wasn't wrong. Maybe it's exactly what we needed to get the message driven home, so that we'd finally be able to connect the dots and put the pieces of the puzzle together that seem to be missing. And let me say about ego, because that just came to my mind. Somebody says that we can't ascend to 5 dimension with ego. Well, then I don't want to go, because anybody that attacks the ego is not being very wise. The ego must go, but it must be transformed and brought into balance with the self. But the self and the ego are really one. The ego is just the limited perception having the human experience, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's never been anything wrong with that. We've not been sinners. We've not been separated. And it's, forgive me, Katie, it's not an illusion, it's an experience. And experiences, as I've always said, or often said, experiences are never an illusion. They're always real to us, and they're supposed to be real to us. It's illusionary only in the respect of nothing lasts forever. It's not fixed. It's mutable. And this is what's happening in our world and in our individual lives. You're going to watch the soap opera play out on the geopolitical economic thing. There's a new financial system being put in place. There's going to be an awakening in various levels of government. There will still be some resistance. There will still be some of the old dynamics that will be played out. But there's going to be sweeping changes that are happening, because that's the period of time that we're in. We're in the awakening. We're in the time of coming back home to ourself, to each other, and to our collective awareness that we've always been loved. We've always been part of God or Creator. We've always been very much involved in life, even when it looked like we were dying. and we are dying and being reborn constantly, day in and day out. And folks, as you judge others, it's okay. I do it too. But When you're judging yourself as well. You're showing part of yourself that you might not be willing to see yet or admit to yourself yet. But all of our judgments are about ourselves because, as my friend from Canada says, it's me having a relationship with me. And that's true for you, for her, for all of us. We are having a relationship with ourselves, even when it looks like there are supporting actors and actresses in our play, in our drama, in our soap opera. Expect it to get even more soap opera-ish as the days, weeks, and months turn for the rest of 2013. Thank you for listening. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.